You're only young, broke, and wild. Bueno. I'm at the gas station. I felt like Max Verstappen at this point. Like, are we friends?
Me as a Latin American, I think is more safe.
But you're Latino. Your hips don't lie.
It was only 5 minutes. So you see, like, even 2 minutes makes a huge difference. I think
Okay, so
that's a red flag for me. It's like once upon a time we were at school, and then we met people that were calling me that I was from
Yeah,
Malaysia.
that is how the fuck do I look Italian? Like the only Santiago te pastela muy bien.
The meat was kind of burnt. Hey guys, and welcome back to another of our episodes in the Masala and
Salsa
podcast with Andrea.
and Priyanjana.
Okay, so on this episode, we would like to be talking about like the type of travelers. I mean, like not the type of travelers, but the traveling stuff in general, and some of the experience that we have had in Europe. And yeah.
I mean, we've now established that we're in mainland Europe, so we thought it'll be fun for you guys to know how we travel. And I mean, a lot of friendships are formed while traveling. A lot of them break.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or get mad at each other, right?
We are we friends?
Are we still friends?
Are we?
Are you sure? I don't know.
Yeah. So how you can travel, the kind of things that we've discovered while traveling about each other, about other people. She's the only person who's actually seen me drunk.
Yeah, that's true. And a very funny environment, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what the episode is about. So maybe we should start about discussing our traveling style of how it is.
That was my question. Like, how do you consider yourself as a traveler?
Broke and cheap.
Okay. So there's like, what do you do when you do?
So for me,
traveling
I think I think my travel style depends on where I am. In India, I would be like one of those, luxury travelers going in car with my family in a nice hotel.
Okay.
But here I am broke, so I like to travel by buses and do things in cheap. Like I would love to go to Monaco right now, but I don't have the money to do Monaco the way I want to do. So I'm more of that person who takes buses to travel. Mostly I prefer solo traveling because finding the person who has the same idea of traveling with you is difficult.
Yeah. Have you found that person?
Oh, you are that person.
My. Should be flattered.
You should be.
I mean, we have just done one trip so far.
One day we'll have money when this podcast starts paying us. Yeah, guys, sponsor our tickets.
Yeah. And from your experiences here in Europe, for example, why would you keep on taking like only buses and stuff? Like,
I mean, for me, I think buses are really
but because
cheap.
but I have also experienced that flight tickets and stuff are also kind of cheap.
Yeah, so it totally depends where I'm planning to go. And this is my hack, that if you take buses at night, you don't have to pay for hotels.
Yeah, that's true.
So you, like, okay, if it's a 9-hour journey, I can just sleep on the bus. And you're only young, broke, and wild.
But I think doing that kind of things, like going by bus during the night and sleep in the bus, it comes to an end to a certain age. Like, I don't think.
I thought you were younger than me.
I don't think some people that it's probably older than 25 or 26, I don't know, they wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, I think now I've come to near that age where my legs and my lower back would just give
Your
up.
ankles also?
My uncles, they would just give up. So maybe like, but by God's grace, if there is a God and if we all believe in it, I might have money, so I don't have to do this anymore. And I can crash at places. And of course, like the Facebook group you told me about.
Oh yeah,
that really helps.
Hosting a sister, I think is
host a sister. Yeah,
host a sister. Yeah, I mean, I've done those type of traveling styles also here in Europe, mostly because it's me as a Latin American, I think it's more safe in Europe than in Latin America itself, or even just only Mexico. But it's just like thinking about like sleeping on a bus during the night, it will give me some hips pain or something. I don't know.
But you're Latino, your hips don't lie.
Are you checking? Yeah. So
Yeah, so what are your like red flags while traveling? So I assume sleeping on the bus is one
yeah,
of
I
them.
think it depends on the travel and yeah, on the trip that you're gonna do. Because sometimes you can vary from one thing to another. Let's say, um, what would it be? Mm, I don't know. Let me think about it. But for
Okay,
you, for
okay, okay.
example,
Okay, so for me, I think one of those red flags are people not being on time. Like that's one of my pet peeves. It is so fucking annoying
only
for
for
me.
traveling, right? Because when
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah. No, no, while traveling. Because I feel like you're in that country or that place or that location only for a few hours. Like you're traveling, you're there for like, I don't know, 1 week or 2 days. If you people think like, oh, it's only 10 minutes, but at the end of the day, if you like start counting 10 minutes at like five places, that makes 50 minutes. 50 minutes is 1 hour, and that's makes the entire difference of a museum being open or being closed.
yeah, that's true.
So,
And especially if you're like moving into like using transportation in between.
yeah, like if you don't have your own car, and especially like us, we don't have our own car, so we have to rely on public transport. So buses
Yeah.
going and trains, and we have to rely on those things. So the timing has to be perfect.
Yeah, and actually, like I just came to my mind like one of my friends' experiences that she was going to I don't know some kind of festival or stuff in Mexico,
Yeah.
and then she was I think the people of the agency or of the trip they just moved the place of the bus stop. So there, she was just looking at her phone and she saw the notification just 5 to 3 minutes before,
Yeah.
and then it was taking to her like around 5 minutes to go to get to the other place.
Yeah.
She sent a message to the guy to
Yeah.
the trip
Guide.
organizer,
Yeah.
and she said like just give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna be there
Yeah.
because you moved the bus stop.
Yeah.
The guy said yes, no worries, we're gonna be
Yeah.
here waiting for you. Turns out when she reached the place, the bus was gone, and they made her pay for an Uber,
What
so
the fuck?
they will be is waiting for her
Yeah.
in the next bus system. And I was like, it was only 5 minutes. So you see, like even 2 minutes makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think even though if you want to save some kind of money,
Yeah.
this will just I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that reminds me. Do you remember that one time when I was traveling from Paris and coming back,
Yeah,
and I went to the toilet and the bus had left
but they
me?
didn't say anything like you need to be there.
Yeah, I
We'll
was.
give you this time.
Yeah, they told me 10 minutes, and I was
Okay.
like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the gas station, pee, and come back. And I ordered my McDonald's meanwhile. And the McDonald's lady was super late. I was like, no, no, I have to leave. Like, my bus is going. So I just grabbed my McDonald's and I ran as fast as possible.
Hmm.
And as I was going, I saw like my bus pass away. And the thing is, do these people from Beep Bus, a green bus, do not count people like at the station?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, all the time that I have traveled on those
Yeah,
buses, there's a like if the seat is empty, they ask to the other person like, "Is
yeah.
this person back
They
or
they
what?"
did not do anything. They just left me at the
That's
gas
weird.
station. And I was like, okay, I'm at the gas station. I felt like Max Verstappen at this point. Like, Jaws, pick me up. I
But you
did
took
not.
all your belongings, no?
No,
What?
because I just went to the toilet, so I kept my bag there, and I just
Yeah,
like,
like that we can see how safe is Europe. Europe.
yeah.
Okay.
So I, because my bag was in the overhead compartment, I was like, I'm just going there for like 10 minutes, going to pee and come back. It's a heavy bag to carry, so I just took my card because to pay for the toilet.
Hmm.
That's the only thing I carried, and my earphones. And I come back, and the bus is gone. And I'm like, oh,
Shit.
yeah. And then
What did you?
I almost had a breakdown. I was just crying, like I was this close to crying. I'm like down there, I'm like breathing heavily, and I'm like, what should I do? What should I be doing? And then I called people from Flixbus. They did not answer, and again, my French is not that great. So I called up my friend, and who speaks fluent French. I'm like, can you do this? Meanwhile, I try to figure out. So I was in the middle of the station and at a gas station, and there were like different buses. So I was calling like different, going to different drivers that
Uh-huh.
is there any way you could take me near my stop, and maybe I could take a ticket from there or something of that sort. And finally, I found, I mean, French people like drivers, they just refused. they were like, no, c'est pas possible. And then finally I found this one driver who was, I think, Turkish, I don't know, because he was like, he was speaking English and he
Okay.
understood. And I was like, sir, this has happened, my bag has gone, and if you're going in that direction or nearby. So he was going to a city near to our city, so I was like, and in Belgium. So I was like, okay, like, I could perhaps I can go to Belgium, and from Belgium I'll take a train back to our city. And
money.
yeah, but like I had no other option. What
Yeah.
else can I do? And I had class that day.
Yeah.
So I was already like in my head, like, oh, I'm late for my class, and how will I come back? So gem of a man, he called up like the server and tracked the bus I was in with my number and my transport number, my ticket number. And then he called the driver of that bus, and that bus waited for me like at another gas station, and this other bus detoured and dropped me there.
Damn.
But till the time
What an
I got my
adventure.
bag, I was like, oh my god, all my belongings are gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just a backpack, but like it had my things in it, and I was like, what if it's misused? And yeah, it was crazy. But luckily, I mean, honestly, that driver, that he was the one, and he saw me sweating, and he's like, no, like sit down. He offered me water. He's like, we'll figure it out, don't worry. I was like on the verge of crying that everything is gone, because
God.
it's not only the ticket of bus, it was my belongings and everything.
Yeah.
So
thankfully I haven't passed through these kind of situations.
yeah.
So I guess because I'm very on time all the time, and even ahead of time.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, these kind of things happen
Yeah.
to people.
To people.
To
To people, yeah.
Eh,
I mean, since then, whenever I'm traveling in these buses, I just carry a snack. I'm like, I am not going to get off, and
Yeah.
if I get off at,
you think your belongings or
I mean, belongings, yes, but what other thing I make sure is like just talk to people around me. Just wave to the bus driver, to conductor, like, oh, I'm just gonna come back, how are you? I just do something like that,
so they
so
remember you.
they remember me, so they don't like just shoo away. Like recently when I went to Prague and I went alone, so I, like, the girl next to me, there were like empty seats. I especially went and sat next to this girl. I could have sat in an empty seat because
What an annoying person when you are. I could have chosen the empty.
Yeah, but I
seat.
didn't want to risk it, so I like, oh, hi, can I sit here? And then we started talking. So
That's a red flag for me. It's like, I mean, if there are a lot of empty spaces, and then
yeah,
it's like I want to go and sit because I like to be on my space.
I 100% like that. But after that experience, whenever
Yeah.
I'm traveling, I make sure like the person next to me, they know that I exist. So I'm like, hi, like, And then what I did was, like, if I talk about this Prague trip, and I was like, oh, do you mind if I sit here? And she was obviously like, what the fuck? Like, the seat is empty. And so I just sit next to her. I put my luggage in the overhead cabin, and then I'm like, okay, till the time more people come, I think I'm just gonna sit behind. So I just did that. So she acknowledges that I exist. So in case I come back and she sees I'm not there, she can tell people.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Yeah, for all those ones that planning to travel.
Yeah, and like even like if I'm traveling alone, in like other buses or something, I make sure like when I'm getting off, just say hi to the conductor, the driver, so they just remember me.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, so now
I think but given all those facts, I think we have very similar travel styles, because when we what is that face?
When what?
In terms of like, we both like going to the museums, going to like, we like doing similar things, because sometimes what happens, you go out with someone, and I am like a girl who would like to take free walking tours and like to know.
Yeah, like it has different expectations.
Yeah, and maybe the other person is more like a beach person. They just want to chill and relax and click pictures in different outfits. And I'm like, I'm one person who just wears one jacket, because I carry one backpack, and then I have that jacket for like 5 different places, which my mom hates. Like every time I post a story, my mom is like, not this jacket again. Like, get rid of this jacket. All your pictures are in one single jacket.
Yeah.
So for me, like, that becomes a little difficult while traveling, because they have to carry their bag, and then you have to pay for baggage, and then I have to stop at every place to click pictures. I'm like, yeah, and it just takes away time. I'm like, I want to listen to the tour.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I think I consider myself as a, a traveler that can adapt to different situations.
Yeah.
This kind of short trips, I would say, in Mexico, I used to make them with one of my best friends, and she was like, like that type of person that organizes everything, and you just have to pay
Yeah.
for whatever is gonna happen on the trip.
Yeah.
No, so she and you were like that also,
Yeah.
because like, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that,
Yeah.
let's get this on this and blah blah.
Just to
So
give you a bit of context, like when we took a trip together, we made an Excel sheet of every day of, and that sheet had like multiple tabs. So we had like what
different
time?
options, what to do on the
Yeah.
first day,
No,
second
first
day,
we had like which country to go to. So
Yeah.
we did like Excel and compared, and like we had like
prices.
prices. Then we had like, once we decided with the pros and cons what country to go to,
Yeah.
and then we were like, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, like, and we put like list of things we need to do,
The
links,
prices.
the links to the Google,
The-
the Google
Yeah,
Map,
yeah,
the language translations, like words we should know, apps we should have. Like,
yes.
yeah, we are very like, I like making Excel sheets and like putting those things, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. So yeah, it's just like, okay, I might be putting things in the Excel also, but it's and I just make sure to like, okay, this is the things like are organized rightly, and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if like you were saying, like visiting museums and things that are historical and like
Yeah.
cultural things and all of that, it's like, okay, I'm all for it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why you're traveling, because
Yeah.
you want to increase your knowledge and
Yeah. Yeah, like with my best friend back home, we've never like taken we have taken trips together, but with families and stuff like that, just two of us, we've never, because her travel style is absolutely different than mine.
Mhm.
She is like, oh, let's go to a bar, let's go to a club, let's do party, which is also like one kind of cultural experience, because you actually meet local people and like party with them. Like, I want to go to the museum, and she's like, yeah, that's not happening. She's not a museum person at all.
Damn. And it's not like, okay, you go to a museum and I will do my stuff, because
We've
that also have happened
yeah,
with me. Like,
yeah, that I'm chill with, like, we do our own things, but with her it's just never happened. So with my best friend, I've not like taken a trip with her in adulthood,
yeah,
but like she also knows that I have like other friends with whom I've taken trips, with whom like my things have matched.
Mhm.
So she is now back in India and she's married now. So yeah, now it's difficult for us to
with
take
a
trips.
rich Indian guy.
I hope so.
You don't know who she married to?
I mean, I know he's okay,
Okay.
he's comfortable, but I don't know like what is rich in it.
I mean, he has to be able to afford her trips, and
I mean, she can afford her own trips.
okay, well then she's
Yeah.
a rich.
She's a lawyer.
Okay,
Yeah,
good to know, huh?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's totally about how we manage. So,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about the Excel sheet and Albania in particular, and how we decided to go to Albania?
No, I don't want to. No, yeah. I remember because
Where's your drink?
yeah, I forgot it, and I'm not gonna be drinking coffee at this time, even though you don't know what time is it now.
Do you want water?
You have?
Yeah, always.
Okay, thank you. So it starts. Once upon a time, we were at school. We were just speaking about like what is gonna be the next vacations. I think like
And
holidays.
Yeah, it was in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we said, yeah, we should plan a trip. There are flights that are less than 50 euros round trip, and
Yeah.
So one day, I don't know what I was doing, but I was just looking into Skyscanner, I think.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite pastimes to do, is just randomly open Skyscanner and see what countries, like what is the cheapest flight from the place we live in. So yeah, we both were just looking at Skyscanner, and
Yeah, I remember once I told you like, hey, this flight goes to, it was to not to Romania but to
no,
this
you
other
told me
country.
we thought of London or UK.
No. It was in the options was Spain.
Yeah, no, before Santiago
Santiago,
de
right.
Compostela, we had an option for the UK, and then I was like, oh, I can't go to the UK because I need a visa. So then we narrowed down to Romania,
There is another country over there. It's not Romania. It's
Bulgaria.
yes, Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And it was a cheaper flight.
Yeah.
So we were really considering like we
Yeah.
either go to that one or we go to Santiago de Compostela.
Yeah.
And then,
So we didn't even have Albania in our mind.
yeah, no.
Honestly, I didn't even like, Albania didn't even existed
Yeah.
in my universe. Like I didn't even think of it like, oh, it's a destination we could go to. Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not part of the Schengen, so you don't really think about it. And yeah, but I think Romania, it was more like we met that guy at a picnic once. And he started telling us that, oh, Romania, if you're going, don't go to that place, go to this place. So at that time, I was like,
Yeah, that made us think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end we saw cheap flight tickets to Albania. So we started looking into like, okay, Albania, what is this country? Where is this country?
Yeah, do we need visas to go there?
Yeah, famous people from Albania.
That's Dua Lipa.
I didn't even know that she was from that.
Yeah.
Like I thought she was only from UK or like.
Yeah, she's Albanian.
Yeah, so
that's the only reason I knew Albania, is because like I saw like one of those reels where like, oh, famous people you don't know are not from the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, Albania?
Yeah, it was like,
that's how I knew about the country.
And I think most people doesn't know, like, I don't think it's like,
I mean, she's very
Albania.
UK, yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, we picked Albania.
Yeah.
It was the cost of the flights were like
I
50.
think like 50 euros like back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to pay more to go to the airport.
Yeah. Because we took the flight from Brussels.
Brussels.
It was Brussels.
Yeah. So we had to pay more to go to Brussels than we paid actually for the round trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we did that. And then of course, if you love traveling, you will know like what are the process that comes with the traveling, like the whole journey.
So especially if you're taking like cheap European flights, you're not allowed to have baggage, because then you have to pay for baggage. So
yeah, so we had to start looking for like, okay, what cities are we gonna visit there? What are the most interesting, or what we would like to be doing there while there?
Yeah, and the weather, because
it was like
raining.
February? It was February, March.
No, it was Easter time, no?
I think it was March.
April.
1 year, almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was April, and here it was raining. It was cold. It was like, what the fuck? If the weather that is like like this, I'm not gonna be enjoying that.
Yeah, I mean, the first day when we went, it was pouring, and we didn't have an umbrella.
Yeah. But at least it was not cold.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think it was cold.
Yeah. No, but we were drenched.
Yeah. So yeah, and we said, okay, well, we had the options to go to Tirana, the capital, and to Shkodra, and this other place to the beach.
Durres.
Yeah, but then after doing our research, we said, okay, we would like to be in a very nice and warm weather, maybe on the beach and stuff.
Yeah, but the days we were in Albania, those Durres, like that duration, the beach days, they weren't the best, because it was supposed to be raining on those days.
Yeah, so we made the right decisions.
Yeah. And I remember I was watching like YouTube videos to figure out what to do, what not to do. And then I found like these group of people. I just DM'd them because they didn't like they had a channel, but they had like, I don't know, 10 subscribers. So I just DM'd them like, oh, do we need visas? And what is the thing? I just got their itinerary. Stalker much.
Yeah, and then remember that I told you like, we should write on this Facebook group, to see if we can maybe get one night of host, like for free.
But even a hostel was really good. We paid like 10 euros a night or something, 12 euros a night.
And then we met people that were calling me that I was from Malaysia.
That is hilarious. Because you're Malaysian. So we were in the hostel, and I had already visited the common area of the hostel, and then she came down, and we both are talking, and they were French.
Yeah, they were two French, I think.
And
the Italian.
The guy was Italian, and then the guy just asked like, "Oh, where are you from?" And she's like, oh, guess. And the guy, because I had already talked to the guy, so he knew I was Indian. So he's like, oh, so you're from India, and I assume Malaysia.
It was the first time someone was giving me a nation nationality kind of.
But
Like,
have you ever like been called of any other ethnicity, like apart from Mexican?
I mean, only Latin American, but not from Asia, no, not even from Europe. I mean, maybe German.
Because I don't know, for some reason, a lot of people, they've called me from Turkey,
Mhm.
from recently I got Italian. I was like, make it make sense. How the fuck do I look Italian? Like the only thing Italian about me is the pizza and the pasta I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Italian. I've got Moroccan. I have got Turkish, Pakistan, which I don't blame because Indians and Pakistanis we kind of look alike.
Mm.
But yeah,
No Latina. No, I mean,
No.
not even when you speak.
yeah. If I'm speaking, I have a thick Indian accent, so
No, but it's still, it's well, if you were speaking fluent Spanish, I think it will.
Santiago de
Be-
Compostela muy bien.
Wow.
Chinga tu madre.
So,
No mames.
so fluent, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I haven't got Latin America though. But yeah, I've also got Indonesia. Was it Indonesia once?
No, but you know what is funny? That also people that they didn't know my sister
Yeah.
until they they see a picture. Is like, wow, your sister like has like a some kind of a Asian, how you call the,
Features.
yeah. And sometimes when you look at the picture and you still like
Yeah.
focus on it, it's like that's true. So maybe
Yeah, you
that's
do
it.
give like not exactly central, but like Southeast Asian vibes a bit, like the
And
features.
I'm not a fan of Asian cultures. Only Indian, probably.
I mean, I am fan
No,
of
I mean
all
the
cultures.
the food is really good in.
Japanese food.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god. Really want to go to
I think it's
Japan
maybe
though.
because of the spiciness.
Yeah. Oh, and also like really want to go to Japan, like see the cherry blossom, and especially this year, like they have this partnership with India
Huh.
and like few more countries. So if you take the Japan Airlines, you can go to like if you take flight from Japan Airlines from say India to Seoul, Tokyo, and then from Tokyo if you go to Osaka, that's free. So like internal flights, if you book it at the same time, it's free.
Really?
Yeah, they are doing this because
Uh-oh.
there's Japan Expo going on right now and all
Okay.
those things, so they are trying to promote it. But yeah, it's still so expensive.
Yeah, I went to Japan.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody thought you were part of their
it's
community.
nice. It is nice.
No,
Yeah.
they didn't say like sister.
No. No, but I mean, of course, I like all cultures and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's like, oh, I want to live there, or
Oh no, not living part, just like
yeah,
visiting
yeah.
part.
Yeah, no, visiting. I'm all for. I'm in
Yeah.
for all the countries.
I mean, I come from Asia, so I kind of understand the culture. And I also like I've heard things about Japanese culture being like really work-life balance does not really exist kind of thing. So
But it's very. I mean,
it's subjective, but again, I've not lived in Japan, so I don't know. But that's what people have said, and on
yeah, from my experience, when I went, it was because of a business trip.
yeah,
So benefits of working for a company.
or just working in general.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, I went there for a business trip, and but the trip was related to work.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel myself like enjoying the trip as much as I would like.
Yeah. But have you taken like other work trips with the same company
Yet
in
yes,
different countries?
to the US.
And those were nicer.
A little bit, yes, more. But like in Japan, in terms of working culture, is like I don't know. I still have in my mind like I was taking this train to go from I don't know from where I was staying to the headquarters of this company, and at some point, of course, no one speaks on the train.
Yeah.
So everyone is just listening to music, and when you were when I was going out of the train, everything I could heard was only the steps of the people, and we have to go to climb the stairs.
Yeah.
So it was like pa pa pa.
Wow.
No one speaking. It was so
And
weird.
coming from Latin America.
Yeah, it was so weird. I was just with my colleague, like looking at each other, like, should we speak? Exactly. Can we speak or what? And no one was speaking. And then you were outside on the city and stuff. So it was. I think it was like it was June, July, and it was not sunny. So it looks so depressed. It was gray, and people wearing the same kind of. If everyone was with wearing uniforms, like gray T-shirt and like pants gray and stuff. So it's like, is this very
Dystopia.
very cultural shocking? So
I think that also happens, like, because was it your first Asian country?
yeah, it has been the only one, I think.
Okay, because a lot of people, like, when they visit Asia, they have a lot of cultural shocks, because the things that we do here in East and versus what you do in the West, they're like very different, and we
Yeah,
are so,
very.
I mean, India and Mexico, I think, are pretty similar, to be honest. But if you talk about like South Asia, they're like, they're very quiet, they're rule followers, like, because I've not been to Japan, but I've been to like Vietnam and Hong Kong and Macau. So those places, like, they are like kind of rule follower kind of places.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like that shocking. But then, in the night when were trying to go to different malls and stuff, I was feeling like I was in a video game, because I was looking Pokemon here, Mario Bros there, and like big cartoons and how you call this,
big screens.
yes.
Yeah.
So it was like very illuminated and.
But to me, one more thing that which is out of the topic, it's so fascinating that Mario Kart is a Japanese game, but they have Mario and Luigi, like Italian name, like what?
For me, like different type of shocks, cultural shocks.
What cultural shock you got when you went to Albania? I think I have to say the bunkers, because I was not expecting such a dark history.
The history, yeah.
We were like dumb people who were like, oh, Albania. And then when we went to the bunkers, wow, like that was something.
Yeah, I didn't think that was happening in Albania.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's such a dark history, and we had no idea.
Yeah, and it was, what countries were involved?
Italians,
Italy, Germany.
Yeah.
I don't
like
remember.
the communist rule, like that was like,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like it was a country like I don't know, like no one could visit, no one could go out also from it. No, it's like kind of a Cuban.
Yeah, and those bunkers, like, because they have like how many bunkers they had?
We visited
too, but like
But
they had this entire like
many of them.
we visited like the two biggest ones, which are like
And then the
converted into museums, but
there were a lot.
Yeah, and oh, you remember that room with the torture chamber where we got scared?
Yeah. I mean,
oh my god,
that's
the
hard stuff.
Yeah, there was this one room where they showed like the torture chamber, and there's like tick, 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 like typing sounds, and like the sounds are repeating of like that emergency siren and stuff. Like, it's very psychological how it works out. And we both, like, we went in that room, and then like when you go ahead, like you go through the torture chamber, and then you get into the gas chamber. And those were like,
I was like,
really
I don't even want to be here. Like,
it was such thick walls, and we just entered, like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, it just felt really weird. Like,
yeah,
I had like a twist in my stomach, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yes, but it's interesting because at least you get to know like what happened in the past.
Yeah, and the spy stories that we read in the museum. Yeah. But also, the English wasn't great. I don't know whosoever. I have no idea whosoever translated the
meat. I was seeing like there were people used to be placing here, and their meat was kind of burnt.
So basically, like the English phrase that people used to add salt to their wounds. So whosoever was like people that were like in prisoners, the political prisoners, the government, and like the government, or like the the dictatorship would take them and they would beat them, and when they would have wounds, they would add salt to it so it hurts more to crush the spirit. But when we read it, I don't know who translated it, they would add salt to meat. And I'm like, salt to meat? Like they're curing the meat, or like what are they making? Like, oh my god, they're talking about actual human body,
Yeah.
like the skin, like we just called it meat.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. Like,
And like it was so funny because when I realized what it meant, I spoke to you and we both are laughing and people were just looking at us like they're reading such like terrible stuff from history, and why are these two
like
girls
the
laughing?
translation, yeah, the
The
translation wasn't
translation
good.
was too funny.
Yeah, maybe we could get a job. We could
Yeah,
get a job.
potentially get a job. Especially like right now I'm reading this book. Can we name a book on the podcast? I think so.
Wow.
I'm reading this book called Tender is the Flesh.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is about like human cannibalism and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh my god, now it reflects so much.
Yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, different way of
Yeah.
translate things probably.
Yeah, there were more things that I can't remember, but there were like a lot of things in translation that's the reason we did, like, we thought of naming this podcast Lost in Translation as well. One of our like but then Chat GPT was like, salsa and masala.
Salsa and masala, yes.
Yeah, masala and salsa.
Uh-huh. So yeah, Albania trip taught us a lot.
Yeah, about each other as well.
Yeah,
And the food was great, I think, like because the
and
Mediterranean,
very cheap.
yeah, the Mediterranean food. But let's talk about the elephant in the room.
What?
Like the main highlight of the trip was how I got drunk. So I'm a person who doesn't drink a lot. I hardly drink. And yeah.
And there was this time when we were visiting Scotland, I think.
Yeah. So we had just like reached Skodra and our hostel wasn't ready. So it was supposed to be ready at like 12:30 and we were there at 11. So we just looked at each other like we can't go anywhere else because it's going to take time.
We're hungry.
We hadn't had breakfast. Like we had like 1 pound of chocolate. That's it.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, let's just get brunch and we'll just, after that see what to do. We go to the place to get brunch and I had like read this thing that, oh, you should try raki, which is a very
It's alcohol of Albania.
yeah.
But what is it made from? Do you remember?
I forgot.
No.
All I remember is because I just saw like we should drink raki and my internet was off because we did not take a new SIM. And I thought like, okay, let's just order raki. But I did not read what is it made of, how much percent alcohol is it, or how you're supposed to drink. I was like, okay, let's just order raki. So we ordered raki as the first meal of the day. And the person comes and he gives us like 2 glasses.
Yeah.
And these are like these big glasses and this much white liquor. And it's all white. So initially I thought, oh, free water. I'm like, why is the water less? And then I look at like the server and he's like, raki. So it's like, this is raki.
Uh-huh. And then it's supposed that the raki should be mixed with something else, no?
I think the locals, they drink it like sip
But
by sip.
yes, sip by sip, exactly.
But they do not take it as.
But you took it as a shot.
So
All at
imagine,
once.
well, you also took it as shots because you were like, I asked you, shots or no shots,
Oh,
and
yes.
you were like, shots, Mexican. So it was like this big. I think it would be like 40 ml. I
Maybe,
assume
yeah.
40 to 50 ml, and we just thought like, oh, shots or no shots. I look at her and she's like, shots. And we just both take this shot of like a 70% alcoholic spirit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And you remember your face was like, oh.
It was, I mean, the taste was horrible. It was a strong alcohol.
Yeah.
And we were like starting eating. So, I mean, if you're drinking alcohol, you have to first eat something and then,
Yeah, and especially if it's that like 70% alcoholic drinks. So, oh god. Yeah, after that, my head was like spinning. And I just told her, like, Andrea, I think we need to order more carbs because I don't feel well. And we were supposed to then take our bikes and trek all the way to the castle.
Yeah.
Like, I am drunk, I can't do this.
was like, yeah, you will manage. You will manage.
Yeah, she's
By
like,
doing exercise, you will be distillating everything. Like,
yeah. And I was like, okay, I don't feel well. I just wanted to puke at that point, and it was it was
was
hot,
hot.
so I was like,
yeah,
yeah,
but it was fun.
yeah,
The first time seeing you drunk.
yeah. But I did not learn my lesson. I ordered Raki again.
But this was in last
Last
day,
day.
you know.
Yeah, so last day we were supposed to be at our airport.
Oh God.
Yeah, at so our flight was at 6, so we had to be there at the airport around 3. So we were like, there's no point taking a hotel for that night. We'll just go to the airport and sleep there, because the last bus is also like at 11 or something. So we had like few hours to pass by, and that we did at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a
But
horrible
again,
day.
I was drunk because I did not learn from my first mistake. I took Raki again. And you remember the two boys who were sitting next to us the last day when we took Raki?
Yeah. It was like, okay, come on, you have to flirt and this and that.
I
No?
was like, I flirting? Me?
Yeah, the rookie will give you power.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, now it's a podcast, so it's going to be out for everyone. I can flirt with everyone I'm not interested in. But if I'm interested, remotely interested in that person, I'm like, hi. Like,
She chickens out.
yeah, I
Normally.
chicken.
Where
Yeah.
are the chickens?
Yeah, where are my chickens? Yeah. So I cannot flirt like if I'm remotely interested in that person, and I'm like, okay, she learned her lesson, so you took your beer. And I'm like, oh no, it's the last day. I am going to try Raki again. And there were like two boys who were sitting next to us who probably thought we were lesbians and trip together.
Yeah.
And those two boys, like, they also ordered Raki, and it was probably their first day because they also thought it was water, and they took a gulp and I took a gulp, and she's just enjoying her beer in the corner and those capsicum and like those things, and those boys, and like I take the sip and this is more stronger than the last time, and I'm like I'm making all those faces. Those two boys sitting next to us, they are making like and we just look at each other, and they're like, we have no idea where they were from, what country. They just looked at us, we looked at them, and
We knew what we were speaking about.
yeah, and they just like did like same. That's it.
Yes. But it was fun.
Yeah. What other things I was saying? Because apparently you made a video of me, no, of talking, and I was very loud in the street or something.
I don't remember exactly. But yeah, a lot of things. Like you were, what we said you were, unfiltered Briangela, that was your name during that trip. Because you were just saying random stuff. If you normally were not drunk, you just say random stuff. Imagine when you're
drunk. I am like really unhinged as a person. I just say whatever. Like my brain does not filter. Like whatever goes on here comes out of my mouth. So me being drunk, I was just saying random things, which I don't really remember. I think in the bus I was like, I'm asleep, and then you made videos of me like sleeping like that.
Yeah. I will post the picture of.
Yeah, but me being drunk and I was just saying unhinged things. Luckily, other people also did not speak English there, so they didn't know. Yeah. Was I speaking English?
Bah, probably. Or maybe the 1 or 2, 3 words that we learned in
French.
No, it wasn't French.
Hapur.
It was open, no?
Yeah.
Hapur is open. Yeah. But I don't remember the language. What is the name of the language in Albania?
Albanian?
Albanese?
We knew like few words in that.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a really interesting trip because it was the first time of us traveling together. Yeah. We didn't know exactly like our travel styles.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were made for each other, I think.
Yeah. For travel, we are made for each other.
Yeah. So
yeah, but we need to take another trip soon.
Yeah. Just let me start getting some money.
Yeah. And once I start saving money.
Because I want to go to Morocco.
Me too. I also want to go to Tunisia. Yeah. Tunisia and Morocco are like two places on my list that I really want to go. and it's easy to go from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like 2 hours of flight, and
Yeah.
Morocco is cheap as well. But wait a second, you recently did a trip with your boyfriend. Did that mean that you're made for each other? Because like we both are made for each other for traveling, but how was it with your boyfriend?
But I will tell that in the next episode.
Okay, so you guys have to wait for the next episode to figure out.
Yes. But before
But did your
wrapping up,
relationship survive?
I mean, yeah, I don't think I will be keep on speaking about my boyfriend because
Yeah, the trip did not.
so, but we survived.
But our
And that's
friendship
why
survived.
we are here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so next
So yeah,
time,
next time we have learned our lesson that we'll travel in the same way.
and that you have to leave me alone when I needed it.
Yeah.
Because you're such a chat box.
Yeah.
So
And I would not like drink unless I know what like how much percent alcohol and I have some thing in my stomach.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we our friendship survived, and we survived today's episode as well. So yeah, it's a wrap up.
It's a wrap up. Do you want to do your extra dance, like the outro dance?
I don't know how to dance.
Okay,
Thank you guys for watching us, and see you for the next.
Bye.